Lord Jesus Christ. I'm doing all blessed flow. Welcome to Greater Love Ministry. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. We are so privileged to have you be a part of what God is doing. We're really excited this month as we go into our Leading by Love series. I hope and pray that you will be attentive because I promise you your life is going to be blessed by this series. I think that we all, whether it be your job, whether it be if you're a businessman, it be your business, whether you're a father, whether it be your home, whether you be a single parent, a single mother, whether it be your home, whether it be a couple leading in that relationship, we want to know that we're leading with love. So this is going to be a very powerful, as you can read my shirt, a powerful series, and I hope you'll be blessed by it. But we're not going to delay. We're going to get into the word. If you would join me and go with me to Corinthians chapter 13. And we're going to start with verse 1 through verse 8. It says, though I speak with tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I have become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and I understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all the goods to feed the poor, though I have given my body to be burned and have not charity, it profit me nothing. Charity suffers long. It is kind. Charity envieth not. It vaunteth not itself. It is not puffed up. Does not behave itself unseemly. Seeketh her. Is not easily provoked. Thinketh no evil. Rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth. But whether they be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether they be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall be vanished away. So far, the scriptures. This is a really exciting and challenging scripture, because it makes us really question. I begin, as I read over it and studied last week, and I was like, have I ever loved? Have I ever loved anything or anyone? Or did I love, even myself? Because I looked at it, says all things, and does all things, and believes all things. What about the times you didn't believe in yourself? What about the time you say you couldn't take it? It makes you know, God, did I even love myself at times? Hopefully through this, learn to love yourself. Hopefully through this series, we will learn to lead, and we will do it. And so the title of my message is For the Love of It, because everything we do has got to be out of the foundation of love. Everything we do, it's got to be because of love. And I had to repent to the Lord because I've done a lot of things out of obligation. I've done a lot of things out of anger, sarcasm, a whole lot. But God said, did you do it out of love? You can do the right thing and not do it out of love, and have the wrong motives and expect the wrong outcomes. It won't profit you. It won't go anywhere. It won't do what it's supposed to do. It's only when we do it because of love. So come on, let's go into the scriptures. So in the book of Corinthians, it begins to talk about love. And so talking about leading by love, and, for the love of it is the name of the title. And I begin to say, what is it to lead? And so I looked up a couple of definitions. It means to bring onward, guiding by contact, to influence or induce course of conduct, to escort someplace, to direct or instruct, or to order to proceed, or to show the way. Y'all, we have not been good leaders. There are some areas we've led in very well. There's some things we've done very well. But when we look at this definition of what it is to lead, and you connect it with love, we find out that we have not done it God's way. And so we have to repent. That's what I had to do. I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you what you need to do is repent. Because when you look at the definition of leading, and you look at the definition of love, and ask yourself, I don't care if you've been a part of a coloring book scheme. I don't care if you've been in charge of a spades game. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you was in charge of giving everybody lemonade, passing out water. Whatever capacity that you've been leading people, have you did it, one, out of the vein of love, and have you led, guided, instructed, escorted them in love? And so if you haven't, it's an opportunity to realign yourself and get yourself together. In this particular passage of scripture, he said, though I speak with tongues of men. Let's talk about speaking tongues. When I'm just being earthly and I'm being natural and I'm, though I can talk and I'm good with words, though I'm good to converse and get things right, and of angels. That means that those who are spiritual or those who can speak spirituality, because, angels, not saying that they don't speak English or French or whatever the language is, because they have to be diverse, because the world is multilinguistic. So, we can't say angels don't speak English, or they only speak Latin, because they have to talk to us in a language you can understand. And so here it's saying, even if you're spiritual, even if you know the things of God and you're able to speak the messages of God, because in that one segment of angels, they speak the messages of God. If you do all of that, all your spiritual, or even you speak, some people interpret that as you speak with tongues, but I ain't really heard no angels speak in tongues. But it said, and have not charity. You do all of that and you're well versed and you know what to say and you know how to say it and you know how to speak to people. He said, but if you don't have love, I become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. You ain't doing nothing but making a whole lot of noise. Let me tell you something. You have to really be honest with yourself. You have to be true to yourself and say, am I just making noise? Because sometimes, because people know what to say and because they think they can debate, they say a whole lot of nothing. But if you ain't saying what you're saying because you love, if you can't receive what somebody's telling you in love, child, just shut up, because you sound like a big mess. He said, you just making noise, and it's annoying noise. So you sound annoying to people when they know you ain't got no love in you and your motives and your words are meaning something else. You sound annoying. You just sound like, you just making noise, like you ain't got nothing else to say. So you just want to say something. So our next verse says, and though I have the gift of prophecy, let me work this. And you understand our mysteries. Sometimes because people can prophesy or they know things, they feel like it gives them an edge to talk to people a certain kind of way. Or they think they're mature in God a certain enough. God trusts them with a certain level that marks them differently because they got a relationship with God that nobody else has. So that gives them a way that they can do things or say things, or they don't have to do things out of love because God got them doing this. And if God could feel like he couldn't trust them, he wouldn't assign them. God assigned you because he believed that you would do as he does. And everything that God does us from the foundation of the world, it's been out of love. From the giving of his only begotten son, it's been out of love. For forgiving us over and over and over and over again, it's all been out of the vein of love. So just because you can prophesy, just because you have a word, just because God gives you mysteries of the deep, just because God gives you revelation, just because you have a level of understanding, just because God deals with you, show you, reveal to you, just because he opens up his word to you a certain way, just because you can remember you got information, it doesn't give you a right not to flow in love. Even the hard word of prophecy should come out of the vein of love. Because God is even discipline. It's still out of a vein of love. Let me talk about this discipline. Because some of y'all misinterpret what love is. And you separate love from discipline because you've been abused. Okay? And so when you're really being disciplined, your discipline looks like abuse to you. But the Bible says God, what he reprimands, he deals with, he chastens those that he loves. That means that because I love you, that don't mean I let you talk to me crazy. Because I love you don't mean I let you get away with things that are detrimental to you. But to some people, love me, let me do what I want to do. Let me behave however I want to behave. Let me say whatever I want to say, and that means you love me. Go along with whatever I'm doing. That means you love me. But when you begin to tell people, you can't do that, you can't say that, you can't get away with that, I won't take that as an excuse, all of a sudden now, you don't love them. And they find a reason to validate something that you've done or said to counteract that rebuke or that chastisement. I ain't really got to do because they didn't do X or they didn't do Y. It doesn't matter if they didn't do anything. God still sent them to give you. God still told them. It don't matter. You know what? I cannot, my boss can come and check me and tell me, you late. And I can have every reason to be late. And I can say my boss late every day, but guess what? It still does not change the fact that God placed my boss in a position to have authority over me to still check me. And see, whether you like that or not, whether you agree with that or not, it's still, the Bible says there's no authority in the earth that's in power unless God authorized it. It said promotion don't come from the north, south, east, it come from God. So whoever God placed over you, it was his will. Them checking you, correcting you, even if you think they're dead wrong. If what they're saying is true, you have to subject yourself. You got to come subject. But we think, well, you late. How you gonna tell me to be late? That's hypocrisy. It may be hypocrisy, but it's still order. Y'all don't like me. He can be late every day, but if he's your boss, he still has a right to tell you don't be late. And see what we do, we measure correctness with what we think we see. So, well, you ain't on time, so don't tell me to be on time. When you be on time, I'll be on time. We're not peers. You don't get to be equivalent. You tell me and I tell you. No, it's boss, subordinate. You don't get to do that. This the boss and you the subordinate. And God willed it that way. Whether you like it or not, God placed it that way. Whether you agree with it or not, God placed it that way. Whether you think it's right or not, God placed. And we have a problem because, see, we think we have so much knowledge and we have so much understanding that we feel like we can see this thing better than God. Let me tell you, where believers miss it at is you can't tell you nothing. You can't. But you know what? Let me tell you something. What I learned when I was in Dallas years ago when I was studying under the Jewish priest. He's not even challenged. And you know, when I studied this, I began to look and check out different leadership styles. And I was saying, how Swaziland is the only country in Africa that still has a king. And I began to look at Benin because I have to go there in September, and I began to look at their king, and the leader of Benin, the king of Benin, or the presiding ruler of a particular of their tribe. When he talks, he places his hands over his mouth. And his speech is so much authority. It's so absolute. Only certain people can hear it. They hear it and they translate that truth to the people. He doesn't even address the people himself verbally to bring correction or to say this is the way that it is. He puts his hand over his mouth, and his wives, as a sign of their submission, they put their hands over their mouth. And that's something to learn about leadership. See, we can't go and think we know it all because of one thing that we experience or one thing that we think we know. But where we are as believers, we're the only religion where there's always a fight about leadership. You never hear in the synagogue, ain't nobody, there's never, You know what? You don't even find Jews debating who's the most holiest among the Jews. Never. We're the most, we're the most holy. We're the Orthodox Jews. We're the conservative Jews. We're the never. Only Christians. I'm non-denomination. I'm Methodist. I'm Baptist. I'm Church of God in Christ. I'm Church of God of Prophecy. I'm Church of God of Faith. You never hear the Muslims arguing about who got the best. The Quran is the most correct, and I'm a better Muslim than you. And you even have the two tribes that are the two main tribes of Islam at war with one another, but you never hear them debating. You never see an Islamic leader and his subordinates fighting. Never. You never hear about it. You go to Buddhists, you go to Confucius, you go to Taoism. There's never anything, only in Christianity, that we feel such an urge or liberty. And it's against the word of God. The Bible says, obey them who have rule over you. It's the only religion that we feel the liberty that we give people to feel like they can debate and fight and war and go and tell other people stop. Only one. We're the only one. But we're not doing according to the word. And we have to really balance this thing out. And we as leaders, whether you lead an auxiliary, the church, or whatever, we have to repent because we have not led people correctly. I haven't. It's some stuff I should have never tolerated, allowed, ever. But I did because you try to change with the times. I can't get no help in here now. You try to go along. You want people to feel liberated. You want people to feel free. Your freedom is out there. There are rules in here. There's order in here. There's structure in here. There's a way we have to do things in here. There's a way we have to conduct business in here. We're not the world. The Bible says we're in it, but we're not of it. There's a whole new way we have to conduct things here. Let me give you an example. We were running late. I get medicine. I left late. He listened to some African music. I'm telling you, get your mind. The day is sick. Come on, can you give God one day? God, we know you ain't getting two, but at least can you give him one? So I had to help him get his mind together. I'm like, my spirit throwing off. I'm trying to center myself for the word. We go, we come in, we running late. I said, it's 10 o'clock, we running late. Boom, I said, I still got to take medicine. I got da-da-da. I'm on this medicine at the end of the month, and we got to do it, dot, 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 dot. So I tell him. And so we go and we rushing and we get in here, and we get here 3 minutes before the call. And then I tell Lewis, come on, let's go. He's like, well, you rushing, da-da-da. And so we finished, and we still got minutes. And I was like, come on, just cut. Well, we don't want to cut it off. We got to, I don't care. If I say stop right then, cut it off, you cut it off. I don't care nothing about logistics. I don't care about anything. All I care about, am I attempting to do what God said? So any structure, any word, anything that's in the way has to be removed. But it's a liberty we feel that people, if we were in a corporate setting and your boss says, it wouldn't be no exchange. If your boss said, hey, we're doing it right now, right then and there, we would do it. It wouldn't be you wouldn't be, well, no, I don't think, you wouldn't talk to your boss like that. You wouldn't debate. Whatever your boss told you to do, you would do it. Just do it. I say it all the time. And we don't want to say and do things because we don't want to offend people. I come to offend you because the Bible says we will be an offense to those who are in the way of the truth. I don't care about people getting mad or upset when I know it's the truth. Offense will come, but it's supposed to come when you're not abiding and walking in the truth. When we're not doing things according to the holy Bible that we say governs our lives, people will be offended. And let me tell you something, ain't enough people offended. Ain't enough of us offended. You know why? It's too much. People want to do instead of what the word say to do. People know you on a call late, you know what you're supposed to do. And people will text you, I got this excuse, this. Don't matter. At 5:55, you're supposed to be, that's it. It don't matter what you had going. That don't matter. But we got an excuse. But God, I repent. But no, when you repent, I mean you're supposed to turn from that. I turned from that today. You hear what I say? Baby, get mad. Who got to get mad? Who got to leave? Goodbye. Because I'd rather be at peace with him. Because let me tell you something. You can fight and be at peace with people and can't sleep at night because your soul is unrest because you ain't did what God said. And what we do, we got people who ain't sleeping. We got people who ain't sleeping because they ain't pleasing to God, but they happy with everybody else on the outside. Not me. I'm going to have peace, and I'm going to have it with God. Listen, he said, and though I have, so that I can move mountains and have not charity, I'm nothing. Baby, you got faith. You can talk about all the faith you got. But guess what? If you ain't got the faith to live holy, the faith to walk in love, if you ain't got the faith to forgive, child, you ain't nothing. You may be a wonder to the world and nothing to God. God said, what is all that? And you ain't got no love. That. All that people look at, all that stuff and see, we look at when people are able to accomplish things and they faith got them this, faith got me this house, faith got me this car, faith got me this job. And we look at them and like, oh my God, they got such great faith. Oh, it's so, but ain't got no love. You ain't nothing. But to you, that'll be something. Because see, we measure people by what they have, not who they are. People can have the nastiest attitude, be rude, but if they got stuff, you'll see the most prideful person humble themselves to get along with them and stroke their flesh and all of that because of what they have. See, because we live in a society like, I got to network with you because I don't know what you're going to be able to do for me. So that means I can't check stuff. And it becomes a thing for us as leaders. Because there are people we think, well, we can't say nothing to them because maybe they give or they give what they do. You don't want to say nothing to them because, you have a standard. You don't want to say nothing because they get mad. They may stop. Stop! I don't care. Stop, baby. Because where you have got to anoint a baby, 4 years old baby, they'll come and play you out. Listen, whatever you I will anoint your mind and make what you did look like a mess. But the problem is that leadership don't have the faith to believe that God can replace people who they think are experts. Or they don't see nobody who can do it. Well, let me tell you something. I moved from Texas with $23 in my pocket to Charlotte, North Carolina, with no job, 2 children and a wife, and a U-Haul full of broken furniture that I got into 2 wrecks with on the way. And the Lord built a ministry. So let me tell you, didn't know a living soul, never been to Charlotte but one time through the airport going somewhere else, and God did it. So I ain't worried about, like, can you be replaced? Because I know God can do it. Because he did it before and again and again and again. And so I go to countries all the time. I don't know a living soul. I walk out there and have a family eating at people's house. God got people. Listen, anywhere I go around the world, God got people there already waiting on me before I get there. We just got to trust God, but we get so embedded that this the only person can do it. And then we become servants of the devil. We become subject to people who, and they exercise their authority, and now you can't do nothing. Because they get mad, they won't do what they usually do, and you'll be lost. But the devil is a lie. The God that I serve, I'm tell you what, he going to take care of his house. With you in it or out of it, he going to take care of it. Me, I'm included. I don't stop. One monkey don't stop the show. God can replace me, raise me up. Because guess what? If I die, somebody's going to raise right on up. Pastor's going to raise right on up and take over and run the ministry. Lewis will be pastoring his church, him and Kenya. Listen, God will raise. And if they refuse, God will replace them and get Cassie and her new husband and raise them up and put them down. It don't matter. God will do it. God, it don't, whoever decides that they don't want to do what God say, baby, in 2021, hear this prophetic word. God won't beg you this year. He won't beg you this year. And guess what? He's not going to toy with you, waiting on you to make up your mind if this is what you want. Because your yay should have been yay and your nay should have been nay. He ain't going to do it. Y'all don't believe me. But I'm telling you a sure word. On the way here, I got a text from, many of y'all know Janelle from the Master's Place in South Carolina. And 10 years ago, I gave her a word. And I said, listen, I see you, I was talking about how she was teaching. I said, I see you in administration, God going, On the way here, she texted me. She said, I just want to tell you, Apostle. She said, 10 years ago, she said, I put in my journal, you gave me a word that I would be in administration. And she said, I thought about that, and, you told me to go on back to school and prepare because it was coming, and I didn't. And she said, now, today, she said, I want you to know I was promoted to administration, and then I'm going back to school. She said, I wish I would have listened what you said the first time. See, I don't care people talking about me dragging my name. You can be mad, but one thing I know, I hear from God, and it's a sure word. And if I tell you a duck can pull a wagon, go ahead and hitch him up because it's going to pull it. But I don't worry. I don't care. That don't move me. I'm so sure in my gift, I know I hear from him. And I have a fear of him to say something he ain't said. But you know what? This is how we hold ourselves back. God is trying to do something for us. And because we lack discipline and because we don't believe, we won't move in faith. And we'll blame other people for what you refuse to believe in faith. But I led you. I gave you the word. I believe God said it about your life. I had to believe it to speak it. The Bible says everything we do according to the proportion of our faith. People don't look at, they talk about what it takes to believe the word. Well, I got another, I want to tell you the flip side. Do you know the faith it takes to give you a word? It takes a whole lot of faith to muster up that word and tell you, thus saith the Lord. To tell somebody something that they can't even imagine being or seeing, and to tell them God said it. While they looking at you, questioning you, rolling their eyes at you, thinking all kind of crazy stuff about you. The first year passed and I don't even believe that anyway. The second year passed, that must be a lying prophet. But then you just stay on. God will just stay there. See, when I tell people something, I don't try to remember what I told them. God said it to them. I was just a conduit. I wasn't the messenger. I wasn't the message. He just used me to get the message. What I look like storing your information? It ain't mine. It ain't for me. I'm the mailman. Why am I going to keep your mail? I get my mail and give it to you. What you do with your mail is you. You throw it in the garbage, you take it out and read it and that's on you. But people expect you remember what you told me 2 years? No, I don't remember. I don't supposed to. That wasn't my mail. It was yours. I feel like people trying to remember every word they gave you, they must be lying. Because ain't no way if God really used you, you ain't going to remember everything you told people. Get out of here. Now, if you exercising your gift, now you asking me now, I prophesy about once a month. I probably can tell you everything now. But there was a time, child, I was on fire. So honey. I prophesied about 50, 75 times a day. Now, child, I'm like, Lord, stir me up. But I've been telling God, stir me, stir my faith so I can believe you, so I can speak and take my judgmental self out of it. And decide who should get it. They don't want to believe. I don't want to get them another word. And they ain't receive out. That ain't leading in love. The motives. See, I had to look at what I want to get out of after you feel unappreciated. Let me step in there. You feel like people not appreciating you. They're not appreciating your sacrifice and your gift. God said, you do it unto me, not people. Every sacrifice you made, everything you did, it should have been for me. And unto me, and it should have been out of love. And if it ain't, repent. So I had to go back and say, God, I prophesied. Sometimes it wasn't out of love. It was because I loved you. Y'all don't like me. That's the truth. So we got to go back and correct those things that are out of order. Come on. And though I bestow all goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, I profit me nothing. You can give and talk about what you gave. Child, it ain't You can give all you have to the poor. You can give your body to be burned like you're a martyr for the Lord Jesus Christ and don't love his people. How you going to talk about you ready to die for Christ and you won't even live for the people that he died for? You won't even live a life pleasing to him that they can be drawn to you with love and kindness, with love and kindness. Now, people, they'll be kind, but they won't love you. With love and kindness have I drawn thee. If you love people right and you're kind to them, instead of always trying to correct them and check them and da-da-da, that's been me. I'm guilty. We want to check people and put them right, but that ain't what the Bible say that's going to draw people. He said love and kindness. And let me tell you something. It's hard to be kind to people who are rude. You can't tell them nothing. It's always something with them. But you got to pray past it. God got me past that by 2020. God helped me get my life together. I don't care who you are. Ain't nobody dragging me to hell. Nobody. No alt, no words, no nothing. You ain't dragging me. You want to go, you're going to go by yourself. I made up in my mind in 2019 that in 2020, I'm going to live a life of love. I mean that. I am. I ain't mad with nobody. I ain't angry with nobody. I ain't upset with nobody. Honey, baby, before I go to bed, I release my spirit of any and everything somebody did to me. Because the Bible says don't even go to bed. Don't even go to sleep. That's why people look and have nightmares and can't sleep right. And I'm not going to be having no high blood pressure, no heart condition, no arthritis. I ain't got time for sickness. I like to travel too much. I like to go too much. It's too much life I try to live to be all sick and stuff in my. I can't even remember the little pills they give me. I be struggling trying to remember. Like I got to take them. Oh, Lord. That's too much. That's why before I had that, I wasn't taking nothing because God knew That's why I know. I'm ready. I told her I feel all right, but I'm trying to obey. I'm trying to obey God. I'm trying to obey God. I want to quit the pills, but God said, "How can you?" I put them in position. Right now, that doctor, you're subject to that doctor. Obey. I feel all right. Even when I miss the pill, I feel all right. But God said, obey. Yeah, I think I know my body better than them. I think I know what's going on in my body more than them. I'm in the body. But I got to obey. I got to come subject. So I'm learning a whole nother way. They got to lead me even when I don't agree, even when I don't understand. Even when I feel like it's me, I know me better. He put them in that position. I got to come subject. See, y'all, it don't matter where you are. We all happen to be led by somebody in some capacity. And we got to learn to be subject. Ain't no sense in me going to argue with that doctor. I'm not an MD. I don't know. I have not been to medical school. And even if I did, doctors still have to go to other doctors to be treated. And they got to come subject. So it doesn't matter where you are, what your specialty, how much you know, you still got to come subject to somebody else. So God don't look at all you give. And sometimes we look at what we do and what we give and what we sacrifice. And because we did the deed, it's enough. But the reason why we don't get the reward, because you did the deed, but you forgot the love. And so it don't profit you. It don't get you ahead. You'll never get to that place because while you were looking at the deed and people looked at the deed and that's great. God looked at the heart and says empty. So we can't just do things like, I'm just doing it because it's the right thing to do. I got to do the right thing in love. Yeah, you still got to do the right thing. Well, if I can't do it in love, I ain't going to do it. No, then you're going to be in double sin. You still going to be in trouble because then you're going to be in rebellion. Then you're not just going to be penalized, you're going to hell. So still do the right thing. But then tell God, help me do it in love. Because I want it to profit me. I want it to benefit me. All that you're doing, let it benefit you. But if you don't do it in love, there's no benefit for you. You're not going to profit behind it. No matter what, you become the martyr. You become the scapegoat or whatever, however you want to label yourself. If you ain't doing it out of love, you ain't going to get nothing from it. Come on. Now, this is what got me. And I was saying, am I saved? Charity suffereth long. Quit talking about you tired of people. Quit talking about you tired of going through. Quit talking about you tired of putting up with. Quit talking about you don't know how long you can do this. Shut your mouth. Because love suffereth long. And see, if you love, let me tell you something that God told me. He said, if you're going to love people, you're going to suffer. Because you know how you suffer? Because in order to love people, you got to take the whole them, the good, the bad, the ugly, and all that. Well, we want to take the best parts of people and love that. And tell them leave that other stuff to themselves or give that to somebody else. But when you love somebody, you got to love them holistically. And even the bad parts of them, you got to love. And when I mean that, don't mean pacify. That's where that kind of love corrects that bad behavior, that incorrect stuff. That's where that love tells the truth. That's what I love. That's still a part of that love. It ain't just tenderly affection to them. It ain't just hugging them when you see them. It ain't just saying nice things to them. It's when they do wrong. You love them enough to say, you dead wrong. Not so. The devil is a liar. Come on, you've been in that mess long enough. Come on out. If I love Aleph, and if I love him enough to say, Aleph, I'm proud of you. You got a promotion. You got a good job. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing. If I don't say, Aleph, your flesh, you not being on a call on time, Aleph, you being lackadaisical about things of God. No, I'm not loving him. It's suffer. That's part the same way I have to suffer through him to bring correction about the area that he don't like, because love should do that. Whether it be Lewis, whether it be Cassia, whether it be Nadia, whether it be Nadesh, love, you got to love people enough to speak the truth to them in areas they need to come up or to get rid of. Even if it angers them. Let me tell you something. I have lost a lot of friends because I told them the truth. But I say, so be it. I'd rather lose friends with you and I want to be called a friend of God. And I ain't talking about just the children ministry. I want to be a friend of God. I want to know God can trust me with the truth. God can trust me that even when it gets uncomfortable. And, many times I tell the story about how when my grandfather was in sin and I was preaching and God, God was showing me people, rebuking people and telling them about stuff in their own family. And the Lord said, now call your grandfather to the altar. And I fell on the pulpit and started crying. Because all of a sudden now I'm being put to the test. Now, I didn't mind telling people, you need to tell that. God said that. I didn't mind that until it got personal, until it got close. And see, that's what we have. When things get close to us, we have a problem. But I rolled on, wiped my face up and said, Granddaddy, God said it's time to give your life to him. And my grandfather got saved at 86 years old. So God is so mindful even of that. I could have walked away and said no and tried that, because we try to do things that with us private. When my daughter got pregnant, I didn't hide it. She had to come before the church here in Charlotte and say, I know better. My father raised me better. And I didn't have a word for her and a word for somebody else's daughter. That the same word, whether she chooses to do right or not, she got the same word. And the same way I would correct somebody else, they were no exception. My children, all of them ain't saved. Lou's the only one. But I know what God promised me. But the thing about it, I don't care. The same word I got for Kelsey, I got for Kara, I got for Third, I got Lou. It don't matter. You wrong, you wrong. And I don't care. They get mad. They don't want to talk. That don't bother me. Because I want to know. I want to have peace with God that even if I die and they don't do it, they're going to say, my daddy gave me and showed me the way. He influenced me to do the right thing. The decision is yours. I can't make that choice for you. They have to make that choice for themselves. But it is our job as leaders, as fathers, as entrepreneurs to guide and influence people to do the right thing. You can't make them do it. When I leave, a left and go right back in sin, be on the apps and everything. I can't control that. And with the mistake I made in the past, I was trying to control just to keep people out of hell. Now I had to be good when people made a decision to go to hell. That's a choice they making. Whether it be my children, whether it be my sons and me, that's a choice they making. And I got to be good with their choices. I ain't gonna like them. I don't have to agree with them, but I still got to keep trying to influence them in love. I'm gonna keep speaking the truth to people, even if they stop talking to me. I'm gonna keep speaking that same truth. I'm not gonna let it up. I had to repent because you go through things and you don't want to address people. You want peace. You don't want to say nothing because you don't want no child. I don't care because you can have peace with folks and it's false. You walking on eggshells. You doing because you don't say what need to be said. Sometimes you got to do what needs to be done. That's what I think. You got to do it. You got to do. You need to be checked. You need to be corrected. But guess what? The balance of it, you need to be loved. You need to be encouraged. See, that's what proper love is. It ain't just all rebuking you. It ain't all loving you, complimenting. It's the balance. But people don't know what balanced love is. Because they can take all the compliments and all that I'll do for you, but the minute you go to saying, okay, this out of order, you ain't doing that right, I'm not putting up with that, you can't do that, all of a sudden it ain't love. Now they finding fault with you. They're trying to justify their actions with you. They're trying to view and tell you how, you ain't all the way right. And child, I may not be, but that ain't your job. That's his to correct me. It's my job to correct you. And people got a problem with it. They were like, well, if you correct me, I should be no, boo. No, it don't work like that. That's not how it is. You don't come in your job, I'm going to correct my boss. Your boss correct you, and you're like, I'm going to correct you. No, you don't. You don't do that. You can say what you want to say with the right tone, the right vocabulary, and at the right time. I just tell my kids, you get to have a voice. God gave you that. But you still got to have the right. You still got to do it in the right time. Because if you do it outside of those three things, you're going to get your feelings hurt. You're going to get something, you're going to get corrected in a way that you're going to take the wrong way. And we don't go and say, is this the right time? Do I have the right tone? And do I have the right vocabulary? We just figure if I got something to say, I can just say it any way I want to, and you can't. You ain't authorized to say in any kind of way. And neither are we. Even as leaders, even because you lead, you can't do it nasty. You can't be provoking. You can't do it sarcastically. You still got to do it in love. Husband, your wife, in love. Pastors, your leaders, in love. Parents to your children, in love. Entrepreneurs to your associates, in love. You still got to do it loving. And it's kind. You can't tell me and you, get over here. You nasty. It's just where I'm at. No. If that's where you at, get where you need to be so you can do it kind. If that's where you at and that's where you are, don't give it to me till you can get in the position you're supposed to be in so you can give it me the way that God says, and that's kind. You can't give it to me and you're not kind. You can't give it to me and you're sarcastic. You can't give it to me, well, that's just, if that's where you are, you need to stay there, repent, get it right till you can get in a place and be kind with it. It's a charity envy now. You can't be mad at other folks. You can't be jealous. You can't be angry. Listen, you can't be angry about the choices you made about your life. Blame other people. You can't. You can't. One way my mother checked me. I was like, but y'all didn't want me to go, and y'all, she said, if you want to go bad enough, you'd have found a way. She cracked my face. She said, if you want to go bad enough, you would have found a way. Because I did when I was talking, I wanted to go to law school, y'all wasn't really supporting me, and because they didn't want me to get married. My parents didn't want me to get married. When I got married, they told me to wait, and I was like, I don't want to wait. God telling me. They said, well, God telling you, if God told you that, let God provide. And they said, if God told you that, then whatever he told you, he should have provided for it. Don't ask me. I was mad. I was on fire. I'm trying to better myself. I'm trying to I'm trying to better myself. Y'all ain't even trying to help me. That's okay. I don't need y'all. She said, well, and my mother ain't drop a tear. She said, okay then. Child, all that emotionalism, it didn't work on Mary, honey. She said, you can go and fall out in your emotions and cry and be mad and yell. She ain't get mad. She ain't get mad. She said, well, okay then. Ooh, I got so mad. I was like, oh, I can't stand her. She made me sick. Because I want her to be emotional because I was emotional. I wanted to be upset with her, but what she said was the truth. If God told me that, then he should have provided for me. But the reality, I knew God had told me now because he said I already had dealt with a lying spirit. And so he wasn't going to let me be no lawyer so I could continue to lie. I knew that. But I felt I could be a contract lawyer, and then I wouldn't have to verbally lie. Because you feel like you write a lie, it ain't as bad as telling a lie. But you still is the conduit of the lie. Some people, you texting lies. I don't lie. Check your phone. I bet it's full of lies. I'll be there in 5 minutes. You got there in 10. That was a lie. So you still the product of a lie. You still a liar. And go ahead. I'm going to give you a little space to repent, Mother Val. Right there. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Hallelujah. God did it. So listen. You can't envy. And sometimes we can look at other people and see their progression. And it makes you think. You ever felt stuck? That was real. Elder Nadia preached it and I taught it. You can get stuck. You really can and feel like, Lord, life is passing me by. But it ain't. It ain't passing you by because you ain't going nowhere. It ain't passing because life don't move. You move through life. Life don't move through you. Y'all catch that next week. Life ain't passing you by. We got to call us, we are movers. That's why you got feet. Life don't have no feet. We move through life. Life don't move through us. So you come on. It said charity don't vaunt it not itself. It means that charity don't brag. Love don't brag. Child, my boo love me. Like, no, you up here trying to make people feel bad because they man ain't got money to get their hair and nails done. You didn't tell everybody you chipped in on it. Listen, you can't try to make people feel bad because you so you can't do that. Love don't do that. It's not. It don't brag. It's not puffed up. It's not like trying to let everybody who maybe not be expressing love may not be as loud as yours make people feel less than. Because they can't express it or it's not been demonstrated the way it's been demonstrated to you. You can't do that. So we know it's not puffed up. It ain't envy. It doesn't behave itself unseen. Now, this is what got me. You talking about you love people. Love won't make you cut nobody's tires. Love won't make you bust out their windows. Love won't make you cuss them out. I love you, but I had to cuss you out. You're a liar. You don't love me because love don't behave unseemly. Out of order. Love ain't gonna make you scream at me and make me feel all crazy. Love ain't gonna make you blacken my eye, bust my lip. No, not gonna do it. Love ain't gonna put me out there and shame me and tell me you chose her over me. Love ain't gonna do that. Y'all, this just raw truth. Love don't behave itself unseemly. And sometimes we have to check out the way that we've loved or we received love. I thought it was love. That wasn't love. Love ain't gonna keep and send me into a place of depression. That ain't love. Love ain't gonna use me and make me feel like ain't nothing left of me. And after it's over, you move on to somebody. That's not love. I know they love you. I had to say, you know what? I didn't love some people and they didn't love me. That's just the truth. I didn't love them. And they didn't love me. It's not unseemly. Don't say you love me and take me to a restaurant and won't even buy me nothing to eat. That ain't love. How you gonna do that? How you gonna take me and then we get there and talk, oh. How you gonna take my money? No, it's my last money. It was not a lie. It was the last money in my pouch. Listen, so you can't do that. It's not unseemly. You gotta teach. I'm trying to teach y'all. I'm trying to teach. It doesn't seek not her own. That's one thing. Love is never self-centered or selfish. Never just all about you. Like No, that ain't love. Love is about compromise. It's about sacrifice. It can't just be about you. It can't be like, I ain't got nothing but this and I can't do it. No, no. You get up unselfishly. I get up and I pray and I call out the name of the saints because you want to see them better. It's not a selfish motive. Not I don't want you to have a better job, not because you can pay for a meal, $15 meal, but because I want to see you advance in life. I want to see your life full. I want to see your life better. So when you pray for people, you can't even pray. When you love people, you can't pray for them because it's what you want. This is what God told me. I didn't like somebody my daughter was dating, and I was praying. I wanted to pray them out. And God said, that's selfish. Because if that's where their heart is, you have to pray that God will change who she loving heart. That their heart accept me, and then they'll line up. Because they line up with my will, you will love them, baby. They'll be the best thing since homemade bread. If they're pleasing to me, it's going to sure be pleasing to you. If they turn their life around and get saved and do the will of God, you'll be so happy and excited. You will love them. Ain't nobody doing the will of God, and you see them moving in God, and you like, I can't stand them. I wish they'd have chose somebody else. That's because you ain't prayed. And so we don't know how to take our selfishness out of the prayer. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Take yourself out of it. You love them, take yourself out of it. And say, God, what is your will regarding their life? Because to you, in the natural, you may say, honey, they sure don't need them. And they don't do this, and they don't do that, and they don't do this, and they got, because I think the most of my kids, they can do way better than that. Sometimes it ain't always about people advancing you. It may be about God using them to change somebody else's life. Because God loved them enough to make that sacrifice. We don't like that. Love is not easily provoked. Every time I say something, you shouldn't be explosive if you love me. It's not easily provoked. I believe you trying to provoke me. No, I'm not trying to provoke you. And it shouldn't provoke you. It shouldn't unnerve you. It shouldn't send you into a rage. It shouldn't make you shut down every time I address something that's not pleasing to you. You know, a lot in relationships, people can't address the other one because they almost like, I don't want to live in the hell that they're going to create for me. Don't say nothing. So you let stuff go until you reach a breaking point. And then when you say it, it's said wrong, it's received wrong. And then you say the devil got it. No, the devil did not get in it. You got in it because you did not address the truth. And the person said they love you cannot accept the truth from you. But we have to stop that because that's that false balance, that false sense of love. I'm just not flowing in there. I never have. And I have to be honest, I got the jersey and I started just flowing in a false sense of peace. Like, well, I don't want to say that. And, you know, I don't know if they'll understand that. They may take that the wrong. Take it the wrong way. God will sort that out. Just obey God. What you said. See, we want to sort things before we give it to people so that we can say it in a way so they can receive it instead of asking God what to say. God, give me the words to say and let me speak the truth in love. God will sort the rest out. That doesn't mean it ain't gonna never get unpleasant. That don't never mean it ain't gonna be uncomfortable. And the truth is uncomfortable. Dealing with stuff is uncomfortable. Confronting issues is uncomfortable. Stuff that people want to hear is uncomfortable. Correcting people is not uncomfortable. But it used to be. You're like, well, I'm trying to forge a relationship, so I don't really want to say nothing, just let it go. No. And then when it gets worse, then you have to go to such extreme measures to bring it back into position or to bring it back into. No. Me and my son sometimes, you know, as parents, you know, sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't like it much. And you go through ups and downs. And liking you a lot, sometimes you're like, I'll just wait until they do something I really, really, really don't like before I address the little things or the little things that's out of order. And by the time you wait and do that, the devil don't have all that time to play on their mind. And so you have to say, I was, especially with the boys, I had to correct third. There was something going on, and I called him, and I said, listen, now you. He said, okay, Dad. I said, who are you talking to? He was like, none, Dad. I said, I don't like your tone. He was like, what? And called me back. Ask God, what was your tone like? I'll punch you in your face. Because I'm that kind of parent. Because you're not going to talk to me crazy and I'm paying your school tuition, your books, your rent, and buying you food. You is crazy. I'm not that parent. Look, go through your phone. Your dad, ask yourself, is he the kind of daddy you can talk like that to? He's like, Dad, I wasn't even. Tone change. But it wasn't like nasty, but it was like, damn, like all the sacrifice no, you don't get to do none of that. I'm not kind of, you don't get to do none of that. Not with me. No. I'm up here going with that. Like, I'm going with that. I'm making sacrifice. I could be a whole nother life. Oh yeah, buddy. No, you can't do that. You gotta be called and say, Dad, I apologize. I say, I know, but sometimes we just have to check our tone. You don't realize how you're talking, but that's how I'm receiving it. You can't do that. And see, sometimes, because Stereo don't really do a lot, and so you don't want to really address because he's not that bad. He ain't like Kelton when they talk all the time. You got to check. And so him and Lewis, they both got bad tempers. But they ain't got no temper. But they can be nice, nasty. And so I don't like that. And I don't put up with that. I don't take that. And I don't care. And so sometimes, okay, we get along. If I say that, then they're going to get an attitude and you have to do. So what? God says, so what? So what? They don't talk for a day or two. Get over it. But you still do the right thing. But deal with them. Let God deal with you. Do the right thing. And sometimes when people don't do a whole lot of bad stuff, you don't want to address it. People like, oh. Like people, I like, kids here don't get checked. I check kids here. I sure do. I don't check Megan. You can't do that. I check Minister Kenya, Miss Goody Two Shoe. She gets checked. Like, but it's love. It's not because it doesn't matter. It ain't. But I don't have no vicious motives. But when people, a lot of times where I don't have to go there with them because they know if I come to them, they know, hey, I'm just not coming. They receive it like, well, I know Pops ain't just coming to say something. It must be something to it. But some of y'all, you go to your, what? Like, child, sit down somewhere and be dead wrong. And I'm not just talking about Mother Val. I'm, who got a word for a word. I be like, Mama, you wrong. You just wrong. Then she come, God deal with me. but she'll be on that phone just going word. I'm like, Mother, that's just not right. The words say. She don't want to hear what the words say or nobody say, honey. But then you just have to leave it. I hang up, I like the phone cut off and stuff. I said, did you hang up on me? Oh, the phone must have cut off. Like, that's a lie. I said, now you lying on top of your sin. But then she'll call back and be like, Lord, I said, Lord, I bind that angel. But I'm grateful because we do have to go back. We do, y'all. Because love receives. Love thinketh no evil. Quit thinking people are always out to get you. Ain't nobody out to get you. Not even you. Nobody's out to get you. Quit always thinking that people, and even on my job, sometimes when you're the minority, you think all the white people against me. They're not all against you. Because you're the minority. So when you do stuff, they don't did it because I'm black. No, they did it because you're wrong. Like, Sometimes we just ride off of stuff, and people like, because you tell your story, people are like, yeah, because a white person did that, they wouldn't have said none of them. That's not true. Not in every incident. But even if they wouldn't have, you want to be the best you. So if you did it and you wrong, God, that's love. God showing love for you to correct you, even if they continue in their wrong, because you're a child of the King. God wants you doing it right. They don't think, y'all. Come on. And rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. When you get the truth, you get excited. Love don't like no lie. It don't get happy when stuff wrong and off. And but love rejoices in truth. Like, you know what? That was a tough conversation, but told the truth. We got God can go and He can move. But while you still lying, that's why stuff keep going on and on. It's some truth. We just need to say, listen, I'm not. I don't mean you no harm, but it's. You know what I'm saying? We just have to say to people in that way. You know what I'm saying? So, Jesus help us all. This is a thing that killed me. It beareth all things. We so quick to say what we can't take. You know what I learned about love? Something I can't take, Lewis may be anointed to take. What we do, we measure everybody by our standards. If we can't take no more, and we wouldn't take this, then they shouldn't take it. I don't know how they take it. They shouldn't take that. They shouldn't put it. God, there's an anointing for them to put up with what they put up with. You won't understand it because that ain't your course. And we look at people we love, we be like, we get upset, we get angry by what they tolerating. But you don't know what God working out through them. And we don't understand, but we have to pray. That's how you have to, whenever I see something I don't like the outcome of the other person in the situation, I feel like the person I love is getting mistreated, I start praying for the person who's doing the mistreatment. Because sometimes when you praying for the person who get treated, they go deeper. You be like, Lord, they going opposite what the devil doing. I'm praying for them to come out and look like they going deeper in it. Because you pray God deal with their heart. And their heart getting dealt with. And they heart getting more compassionate. In the wrong direction. I said, Lord, let me pray for the other devil. Not the devil I'm praying for in the family. Pray for the other devil outside the family. Because that's what you do. They do get open and they heart needs, Lord, clear up their mind. And they looking at everything with them is better. They getting hope more. God help their hope. Let their faith come alive. And they got hope and they believe in God for that thing. That you believe in God, they let go. They believe in that thing will come to them. And you're like, what in the world? I said, oh, devil, I got you now. Because if you pray for that individual, they going to leave them alone or they going to get it right. Because the person you praying for may not have a mind to get it right. Or may can't leave them alone. So pray for the individual. Because if God saved they individual, because you could save them and they feel like that's their plight to put up with them. God saved me and He did it for me. He knew I was rich undone. And so I'm just going to stay with them because I believe God can change them because He changed me. So you say, no, don't pray for them because they'll believe that was their responsibility to tolerate that bad behavior and all that. They feel like that because they was bad and God didn't throw them away. Pray for that other person. Pray for the one, pray for them. Then you'll see change. But it say it bears all things. And I'm telling God, help me to stop saying what I'm going to put up with, what I can take, what I would tolerate, especially in relationships. I ain't putting up with that. And I love my girlfriend, but I was like, I'm not putting up with no foolishness from her children. That's a lie. And God know it. God said, no, you say you love her. Why can't you bear her? I said, well, I guess I don't. That was just the truth. I was like, Lord, teach me to love her then. Let me quit telling that lie. Because if this what love is, I ain't in it. You know, sometimes you feel like you're not in love because of what you tolerate. You know, or what you think you might have to. It may not be what I have to tolerate at all. It's just your mind will go there and think that you're going to have to deal with that. And already you go in defense mode. Be healed. That's what God told me. He said, go over your life. You know what? You can think you healed. You can be healed. And you still got sky. And you can bump something and that pain's still there. So you got to go say, God, heal me all over again. God, do it again. That's what I've been telling God. Just heal me all over again. Anything that's still sore, anything that's still you bumping and still comes. I mean, it's healed. Don't matter. It ain't gonna see you like, ah. So if you still feeling pain from it, you ain't all the way healed internally. Externally, it may look healed, but internally, it's still a wound. It believeth all things. And let me tell you, this is the thing I've been challenged by. When you deal with a lot of liars, or you deal with people who lie at a certain level, and you love them, it is very difficult to believe, even when they say it's sunny outside, you be like, that's a lie. Like, and you see the sun out there, but they don't lie to you that you just believe that everything that come out of their mouth is a lie. And it's hard because when they start telling the truth, they get angry when you don't believe it. They're like, I'm telling the truth. And you're like, I know, you may be. But because you have a history, sometimes you just got to live your testimony. You can't get mad, just say, I'm going to live my testimony. I'm going to outlive my testimony. That's all. Just got to live it. You know, Aleph, I still love you, son. I do. You just got to live your testimony. That's all. Yeah, mother got live. She right there with you. That's how I know she your mother. The tree don't fall far from the tree. The fruit don't fall far from the tree. Lord, 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 pray for the saints. Lord, it believeth all things. It hopes all things. You know, love really believes that things are going to get better. And that's what I've been telling myself. Let me tell you something. I don't care how hopeless things are. Just out your mouth, just decree it's going to get better. It's getting better right now in Jesus' name. That's what love do. Love really believes. And that's why we get upset when people still love people we think they should let go. Because they still hoping it's going to get. That's how you know they in love for real. Because they got hope that it's eventually going to change. That's why, you know, I learned that from my mother. Because let me tell you something. My brother, she was like, well, he say he ain't doing drugs no more. I said, you believe that lie for 25 years? Lord, and I would just be so angry with her for believing it again. Like, she was like, he ain't staying with me no more. Then I was like, who was that? She was like, child, your brother said he going to be here for a couple of days. And I would be so mad. Like, because she be done talk about he ain't staying here no more. He get out this time, he better not look this way. And I'd be like, that's right, mother. He better not look that way. And then you turn around and say, I cooked for your brother. He ain't say thank you. He toted the food out of you. And then I had to stop. I said, no, I'm going to just hope. Because no matter what she do, she believe in her son going to get right. She believe in her son going to be delivered. She believe her son going to get free from them drugs. And that's why she keep helping him, because she has hope that he is going to change. She doesn't. One thing I know about love like that on the outside. Because on the outside, we looking at how much time it is they investing. But to them, they in it, it seems like it ain't no time. To them, because they hoping for it. They're not saying it's been 2 days, 5. They don't care. We looking like, you been dating him for how long? And he still ain't married you? And you still there? But to that person, it don't feel like that. So I had to say, Lord, help me. Even in this, I've been like, help me when people say they believe and they have hope in something that I think is hopeless. Help me, because they can't help that they love. But help me to pray for them. Because if that's not the will of God, just let me pray the will of God for their life, not my own. That's why I've been trying to be in a practice. Say, Lord, let your will be done. Because sometimes what we want for people is not what God wills for them. Sometimes what we don't want for people is God's will for them. And so I'm just trying to stay open. So the safest place is, God, let your will be done. Because you know what the outcome needs to be. Hope all things, and again, it endures. Now, some stuff you bear, that means you carrying, you putting up, enduring is you pressing through. There's some stuff in relationship, you love people, you just have to carry that. And there's some stuff you just got to keep pressing through. But it ain't just endure it. It means it's keep moving through it. You still pushing through it. And that's what love do. Love still keep pushing through whatever it's been through, whatever you've been through, whatever you endure, how bad it's been. It just keep on going. My grandparents were married 55 years before my grandfather died. And when I would be asking them questions, that's what they say. You keep going. You just keep going. One day you marry each other, the next day you just love on each other. Just keep going. Every day ain't gonna be, everything ain't gonna be like, there's some tough time when the money get funny, when, different things happen, when you feel challenged, when you tired of life yourself. When you tired of your own life, you get real impatient with people, and so, but you learn to endure. You keep pressing through that and say tomorrow's a better day. And that's what we have to do in our own lives. We have to say tomorrow's gonna be a better day. Today was rough, but you go to bed saying tomorrow's gonna be a better day. Where I feel hopeless, I feel hopeful. That's why I keep saying it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Even with my schooling, getting this PhD, I was like, Lord, why did I do this? And but I said, you know what? It's gonna get better. My professors don't like me, but it's gonna get better. And the reality is I turned my paper in late. I'm mad at them because they didn't respond, but I was late. I just had to eat that. So I did. I apologized to them. I said, I know that I was just late. There's no excuse. I can come up with 20, but the reality, there was a deadline set in place, and I just should have. Bottom line, I'm just wrong. So whatever you decide is whatever you decide. God, let your will be done. If they push me back the next semester, then I'm just pushed back the next semester. I won't like it if I don't meet my deadline because I want to do it in July. But if they tell me I'm going to have to wait to January, I'm going to have to wait to January because that's my fault. I knew what I had to do. And if I would have arranged things better, I could have did it. And I didn't. Sometimes we think our favor just get us by. I got favor. God going to look out for me. And sometimes God say, I am looking out for you. I'm teaching you a lesson. I'm just saying, y'all ain't that deep. Come on, our last scripture. Love, charity never faileth. But whether they be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether they be tongues, they shall cease. Whether they knowledge, it shall vanish away. We're saying that love always wins. Love always wins. Because guess what? God is love. So he always wins. Whether they be prophets, they going to fail. I mean, like, prophets ain't going to come to pass. Somebody going to rebel. They going to do what God say. It ain't fair because it wasn't true. There are things that fail not because they're not true. They fail because we don't put what we need to do in it. They fail because we rebel. Whether they be tongues, they shall cease. It's going to be some things there ain't nothing else to say about it. Whether it be knowledge, I don't know what to do with that situation. But if you love, what they're saying is when you don't know what to say, when you don't know what to do, when you think ain't nothing going to work out, just love. Because when all that stuff passes away, love is going to stand. The old mother used to sing a song. Everything is going down but the word of God. What they were saying, everything else going to fall away by the wayside. But that word, and God is love, that's that word, it's going to stand. Everything going to go down, but the word of God going to stand. And I learned, I used to hear that, and they used to sing that song from their spirit, hollering that song. I was like, Lord, they keep saying the same song over and over and over again. But I guess they would say everything going down, things are crashing, going bad. But in their life, the word of God been consistent. And it's been there. Y'all, I'm telling you, we got to lead with love. Love works. Love works. And we going to love. A lot of things we can just correct just loving. God told me that he gave me a word. He was like, some things you want this. Just start loving and you'll see some things get better. Just loving and you'll see some things heal. Quit thinking about what to do and how you can correct it. Just start loving. Start there and watch your life turn around and things get better. Amen.